Hi everyone, this is Rachel here from the Shades of Orange. I want to talk about the books that I'm currently reading this weekend and will be reading into the next coming week. It's been a little while since I talked about what I'm reading, so I just kind of wanted to give you a bit of an update. The first thing I've already mentioned, and I'm reading A Feast for Crows by George R. R. Martin, which of course is the fourth book in the Song of Ice and Fire series. I am actually pretty close to the end of this. A lot of the last pages are all the family structures, so the book I think is only another 150 pages, maybe 200 pages, so I'm getting relatively close for the size of the book. And I'm having honestly mixed feelings about this one. At first I loved the beginning, and then it got slow, and then it really picked up, and then it got slow again, and right now I'm just not very motivated to read it. I was kind of plugging through this just to finish it, but I don't know, I just have mixed feelings, so I'm kind of putting this down for now. I might pick away at it, but I don't want to force myself to read it. I'd rather wait till I'm really excited to. Some of the perspectives are so interesting to read and I'm completely absorbed in, but there's other chapters that once I get to them, I look at the name and I just go, oh, I don't really want to read that right now. So I just keep putting it off because some of the chapters are super interesting, but others I'm really struggling to get through, honestly. Did anyone else have this much trouble reading this book? I know it tends to be the least favorite, but I'm struggling, so definitely share your thoughts down below if you had similar issues getting through this one. After that, I planned on picking up Year of No Sugar by Eve O. Schwab, and I'm a sucker for these I Did Something for a Year memoirs, and this one is all about a woman and her family that decide to give up sugar for a year. I've been thinking about getting on some kind of health kick and eating better, so I kind of was interested when I saw this book available at the library. Just really curious about it. However, I'm not honestly sure if I'm going to read this one in its entirety. I kind of started skimming through, and it seems like giving up sugar means using a lot of kind of artificially made sweeteners, and that's not really what I personally would want to do if I'm giving up sugar. I wouldn't want to just give it up and replace it by chemicals, so I'm not sure. The reviews on this are pretty bad online. It's kind of like an average of a 3 or something. So I was planning on reading this. I might skim through it. I'll only count it as a read book if I actually read it cover to cover. Now I've also just started a book I'm really excited about, and that is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. I recently saw Amanda do a review of this one at the Thrifty Reader. I'll try to put a link down below, and she loved this book. I believe she gave it 5 stars, and just was really excited to pick it up myself. I was also recommended this book by someone in my book club. We were chatting about books that we both enjoyed, and she really thought, based off some of the other books I previously liked, that I would really enjoy this one. So I always am very curious about a book when I get a personal recommendation to read it. Now my only concern, now that I've started actually reading the book, is that I realize that this book is told in letter format. I know people talked about that in their reviews, but I never quite connected the dots. And I do struggle with when a book is told entirely in letters. The book is told by Kevin's mother's perspective, who is writing to her ex-husband and basically talking about their son Kevin, and there was some kind of incident, that's something that he did, and they're kind of discussing what happened. And this book covers a lot of the question of whether or not bad kids are caused by bad parents, or if bad kids are just bad kids regardless of how they were parented. So really excited for this one. I just hope that I don't get stuck on the format of this book, because I do just struggle with letter format. I don't know why. I find it very unnatural to read, because a lot of what the mother is talking about, even in the first few pages, doesn't feel like the kind of thing you would write in a letter. So struggling a teeny bit, but still really high hopes for this one, because I've heard such good things about it, and I know it's been personally recommended to myself. So looking forward to this one. It's going to be a book club pick in a future month for my book club, so I'm trying to read it as soon as possible, so I'm all ready to go. Now the last book that I am reading at the moment is an audiobook, and that is Dare Me by Megan Abbott. I don't know if you can see this at all. I'm currently listening to this on my tablet. What it was is that I'm looking for an audiobook to read. I will let you know that I'm currently in the middle of moving, so that means I'm packing up boxes, I'm cleaning, and with that I have tons of time on my hands where I'm busy. I can't read a book, but I can listen to a book, so I really wanted to get an audiobook. I was struggling trying to find one. I ordered a whole bunch from the library, and honestly none of them really hit the spot. I just either didn't like the narrator or couldn't keep focused on the plot because it was too complicated to be listened to. And so I ended up picking up this one completely on a lark. I had heard about Dare Me by Megan Abbott previously because it's one of Gillian Flynn's favorite books, so a lot of other booktubers who really enjoy Gillian Flynn also picked up this one. But I heard really mixed reviews about this, so I came in with very low expectations. It's kind of a larger-than-life story about a group of high school cheerleaders, and it is considered to be a YA book. And just from that description, I didn't think it was for me. I was completely uninterested. But honestly, I was desperate for an audiobook, so I thought, oh, I'll try it, I'll get it out as an ebook and just see what it's like. And ended up listening to the beginning and got completely hooked. Now there's something about Megan Abbott's writing that is just entrancing for me. I don't know what it is, but at the beginning of the book I was completely hooked. Did not want to put this book down whatsoever. There's pieces of her writing that I do see feel similar to Gillian Flynn, as well as almost similar to Laurie Halse Anderson. It's just something very rough and maybe visceral. I'll have to spend some time thinking how to even describe this book before I attempt to do a review. I have almost mixed feelings myself though. I feel like this book is so decadent and over the top, and it still is a book about cheerleaders, so honestly it's a book I shouldn't really enjoy. It's not my cup of tea, but for whatever reason I just found it really entrancing. I'm about at the halfway point now, and my feelings are waning a little bit. While I still really love the writing, it's such an over-the-top story, it's almost hard to explain, that it's hard to almost continue to suspend my disbelief because these cheerleaders are so over the top. They're the meanest mean girls you can believe, and the events that happen in this book are pretty unrealistic. I'm going to withhold judgment until I'm actually finished this book, but chances are I may finish it this weekend just because I have so much packing to do, and an audiobook is the perfect way to pass the time. Now because I'm moving, this is probably the last video that's going to be filmed in this location. I know it's kind of sad. I've had the same background forever. I was just too lazy to move around and try to find a better spot to film, so this is where it's always been. I do have one other video that I've already filmed but have not finished editing yet. But after that, the next time you see me, I should have a new background. Really excited. There might be some delays filming, but definitely if you want to keep in touch, you can follow me on Twitter or on Goodreads. Just, be my friend on Goodreads, and you can kind of see how my reading progress is going and chat more there. Hope everyone is having a really good weekend. I've got to get packing, but I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.